Welcome to Musicality. We are your hosts, Lili.
François?
And we're friends who don't quite listen to the same type of music or genres, but who are here to talk to you about everything and anything music related. And
Yay!
yay! So, how are you doing, François?
I'm fine, and I'm a bit stressful. It's quite a challenge for me to do that because I love to talk a lot, and I love to talk about music a lot, but I never did it in English.
Yeah, so this is going to also serve as an English lesson. We'll see if François' English develop throughout our podcast.
I hope so.
And so, what are we going to be talking about today?
Our first album, like the first one we bought with our own money, and the one get us the biggest impact.
Yeah. So, was it easy for you? For me, it was quite easy because I knew exactly which album really got me into music, really got me into concerts, and really got me into it. Really shaped who I am today, to be honest, which is like really
Oh, that's
cheesy.
nice. No, for me that was a bit harder because everything came in my life in one particular time because my parent doesn't listen to music. So it was like a bundle of cassette. Yeah, I'm that old. That was cassette. And I had to dig and remember which one struck me the most. So
We went down on a little trip down memory lane.
yay. The
So,
young Francois with braces. Yay. Funny time.
yeah. So, let's start. So my first album that I bought or that I got, I don't know if I actually bought it with my money or if I was gifted it, that I can't remember. But it was the Backstreet Boys CD. So the first album that they released that came out in 1996 with the red cover and the five guys on the cover. And what really surprised me, because I listened to it again this week for the first time in probably 10 years.
Ah, come on. Even me, I listen more than that.
Well, it was the first time I've listened to the full CD. I would listen to a song here and there, but I would never listen to the full CD. And that's what really surprised me the most was when I listened to the whole CD on Spotify, there were some songs that I did not recognize. So I don't know if it's because they were in a different version that I had, or if it's really just because I don't remember them and I just remember the hits.
Yeah, but the hits are like burned into our brains
They
now.
are. They are.
Yeah, they were on TV, on radio, and especially you were in Montreal back in the days. I think Montreal were like their second home.
That's true.
With I don't know what her name. The I think she's Spanish, but I'm not sure. The Sonia Benezra, she was in Music Plus and
Yeah.
whatever other TV shows. She
Right.
was like our mother when they came here. She always had the first interviews, the special futures and
That's
stuff like
true.
that with them.
Yeah. But back then I think I was still too young to really know about anything else. I would just I would just watch their music videos on YTV's hit list.
Oh,
Or probably sometimes music videos and much music, but mostly I think I discovered a lot of my music when I was young through YTV.
I didn't know
Surprisingly.
YTV had music.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'd have to recheck. I didn't check this. I don't know if it was the hit list already back then. I know for my other album, I did listen to them on the hit list. But yeah, so I was a little bit surprised that there were a lot of songs that I didn't know. But when I looked it up, what happened is they released this album differently in different areas of the world. So maybe I just really didn't have those songs on my album.
Yeah,
And
maybe that
there's
was quite
actually,
popular. That was a
yeah,
quite popular trend during the 90s
that's
and beginning of
true.
2000.
Yeah.
I remember when what's the name, Kaza and Napster and all the torrent stuff. That wasn't torrent back in the days, but whatever. Uh, we were always looking for the B-sides and Japan release and
Right.
UK release to have the 2 or 3 songs we never heard of before.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, so that's what's good about now is that it's just so easy to have access to all of that. But back then, if you didn't know that they had another version, that they had 5 other songs that you didn't have on your CD, which is crazy. Um, but so when I listened to it again, I I was I was surprised that I still remembered Nick Carter's voice. But that was the only voice I actually do remember. So he was my favorite when I was when I was
Obviously, the
7 years
blonde
old. Um, it's actually a trend. My sister said if you look at all of my bands that I used to like as a kid and as a teenager, I always liked the blonde guy.
Oh yeah.
But
I will have to talk with your boyfriend.
no, one day I'm gonna bleach his hair. No. But what happens was because Nick Carter was my favorite, I would always listen more to his parts, I think. And so to this day, I still remember, I can still point his voice out in a song.
All
Nobody
the
else.
harmonies and
Yeah. I can't say, oh, this is AJ singing or this is Kevin singing, but I can say, this is Nick singing.
ah,
Which is crazy because this was what, 23, 24 years ago.
already, yeah.
Yeah. And so when I went back into that album, I realized I've always had a soft spot for ballads. I still do. So, those songs really hit me. Quit playing games with
Game
my
with my
heart.
heart.
Um, but I also forgot how they had some rap in songs.
Yeah, and me when I look on Spotify to listen to it, I was quite surprised to see the non-rap version of Get Down on it
Yeah, that's true.
because to me that was like an highlight in the song that was a bit special,
Hmm.
but I don't know why they choose the non-rap version.
I don't know.
I didn't even know they have a
Me
non-rap
neither.
version.
Yeah, that was very surprising to me too, because that is true that I feel like that made the song stand out a little bit. But then again, I think that was also what 90s pop was about. It was a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, but
pop with a lot of rap in it. So I don't know why they would have taken out the rap from the song.
but I read a little bit because I wasn't the target audience when that came out. My
I
little
was.
sister was. Yeah, yeah. I think you the same age as my sister. But I remember that there was a trend with all the Airbnb and I don't know how to call that soft pop. Like
Hmm.
uh, the best example, and I think the Backstreet Boys are really inspired by them. It's the Boys Two Men stuff,
Hmm.
like the vocal band with 4, 5 guys singing in harmonies, and that, uh, especially the B side of this album is all that,
Yeah,
just Airbnb.
that's
Oh,
true.
okay, I'm not a specialist, but to me that was really really Airbnb. In opposite
Hmm.
to the first part, is pretty much pop song for
Right.
radio.
But then that what you just said made me realize maybe that's why I didn't remember the other songs because I liked the poppier songs than the Airbnb. That's more of what I still listen to now. I've never been into R&B or anything like that as much. So I feel like maybe back then, subconsciously, I just listened to the more pop songs, all the ballads, and then that's it.
Yeah, maybe. And on the other side, those songs were like 5 minutes long. You
They
will
were
never,
long.
you will never hear them on radio.
That's true.
So
That's true. And so, what was your first CD?
I have some guilty pleasure to share with you with the Backstreet Boys before we go into my
Okay.
first. To me, it's really a guilty pleasure. I know I'm not supposed to like that. I'm supposed to be the metalhead and indie rock or whatever. But okay, when I was a teenager, for me that was really lame. Like every teenager guy, that was lame. That was girly music. They were there because they were handsome, and they were selling CDs. That's it.
Hmm.
But today, for me, I think it's one of the best karaoke band ever because everyone knows the song. Like
Everybody
everyone,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think even the guy at my age know the song, and y- it's just fun. And to see them now, they seem like genuinely nice guys.
Hmm.
So it's like a fun package.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy actually when you think about it because they still have a very dedicated fan base. Like I personally, I think I stopped following them after Millennium. So that was the CD with the white. It was all white, and they had white suits. And anyways, I think I
Backstreet
stopped.
Back?
No,
Is
that's
it
the
the Backstreet
second
Back?
album.
I'm not good.
No, so Millennium, I think, was the third album, and after that, I stopped. But they still have very dedicated fans now, and I think for a while, I don't know if they still do it. Well, not this year because of COVID, but they did it like a yearly cruise.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're still doing it.
Yeah,
But it's another part that interesting from them. They really take care of their fans.
exactly.
I have a cousin who did a Make a Wish,
Mm-hmm.
and she has to meet Backstreet Boys during their Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block tour. And that was supposed to be like you came in before the shows for the sound check, talk a bit with them,
Right.
and they did the whole package. They were there at 7 o'clock in the morning. They grab her, they bring her everywhere, eat in the restaurant, shopping,
Oh
whatever they
wow.
want to do. And with her friends, I think she were with them for like 20 hours straight.
My gosh. Yeah, you were saying that and I had goosebumps. I'm like, oh, that's so
I bet
sweet.
I just saw pictures on Facebook and I was like, wow, I wanted to be there. I know that's not cool. It's not a fun situation because the Make a Wish, but they
Yeah.
seems like really great guys. So
Mm-hmm. Well, that's also it's important. I think that that's how you nowadays, that's how you stay relevant. You can make great music, but if you have a if you don't have a nice personality, I think people see through it
yeah,
now.
yeah,
And
especially with
you
social media and stuff like
exactly.
that.
Exactly. Then you just lose people because of that. Yeah.
So my first album, it was Our Lady Peace Clumsy,
Yeah.
and that was a birthday present from my uncle because I asked for Nevermind, the album by Nirvana, and when I told that to my mom, she answered me, "Nevermind."
No, no naked baby for you.
Yeah, and I don't know why today because I'm pretty sure Nirvana wasn't that bad, but anyway, they probably
Hmm.
had bad press, so
Wasn't
and
it? Wasn't it? Didn't have the parental advisory sticker.
probably, probably during those years, I think is when the ESRB is that the name ESRB quote
Hmm. I think so.
appear. I don't know, but so my uncle, he's a music fan. He went to every show possible. He saw Pink Floyd
Mm.
when he was young and stuff. So
Wow.
he understand the appeal, and
Hmm.
today I can say he's a Nirvana fan too. So, but he, he just find a way to give me something that will probably fill the gap.
Hmm.
This is not Nirvana. This is not the same thing at all.
No.
But he finds something that was different and interesting for teenagers.
Right.
And I remember when I got the cassette, uh, I discovered something like different because I didn't know anything about music at that moment.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I knew like Nirvana and probably like Pantera or something like that because
Right.
that was, and probably Metallica because that was the getaway bands when you want to go on the heavier side.
Hmm.
But I discovered like harmonies, uh, ballad,
Right.
and not in a Metallica way. That
Mm-hmm.
there's no need for the big solos and stuff like that. Just a ballad. Like I think it's 4 a.m. and just that. I don't know if you ever saw a video clip of Our Lady Peace back in those days.
I don't think so.
That's really really creepy.
Okay, I'll need to check it out now.
It, it, they had a universe really really dark and like with clowns and people with makeups and
But
stuff like that.
so wasn't the concept, well, the I read this somewhere that this album was written kind of in the carnival circus perspective.
I don't know for sure, but visually, that's something in those where there was a fountain puppets,
Hmm. Yes.
maybe.
Yes. Good job. You found the word before me.
That was the cover, and you can see that puppet in every video. He's hiding and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
That's really something. So I remember looking at those videos on Music Plus over and over and over again because they were the, I don't know, like you said, the top list of the weeks or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And I remember two things: the visual and the guy's mouth. The singer of the band has a huge mouth and shiny teeth.
That's so funny.
But that was cool because that opened my mind to something really different and
Mm-hmm.
more maybe conceptual, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember I did the link between that and Radiohead
Oh,
uh,
okay.
later in my music path. So
Right.
there's something because I don't think they are a big band. They're probably a big Canadian band, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they did well around the
I
world.
don't know either. But so what I realized, because I also went back and I listened to that and I realized I didn't really know Our Lady Peace.
Mm.
So what I realized is I always knew their name.
Okay.
I knew Somewhere Out There.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Probably
knew,
the biggest hit
yeah,
they had.
exactly. I knew Innocent.
Okay.
And I think that's about all the songs I knew of them. So this is a for me, it was a discovery when I listened to this album.
Oh, great.
Because the sound on this album is very different from Innocent, which is probably the song that I knew the most is Innocent, and the sound is completely different. I
Yeah, they're
find.
probably a two, three first album were post grunge era, something
Right.
like that. So that bit different, and they change. I think they changed the guitarist along those times.
Oh, okay. That
So
would make
maybe
sense.
so that was it for me. That's the first one.
Yeah. So we mentioned at the beginning that we have completely different music tastes, but we're both quite open to a lot of stuff as well. So
Yeah,
like
I'm a big.
you
I'm a Backstreet Boys fan.
exactly. And so I think this will be more pronounced when Francois is going to talk about his metal bands because that is something
Man,
that I don't really enjoy as much. But I've been surprised. So metal is a very varied and very wide genre, is what I've realized.
yeah.
But anyways, this is going to be for another time. So when we talk about albums that had an impact on our musical journeys, our musical paths, and what music we actually still listen to now, for me, it was hands down Simple Plan, no pads, no helmets, just balls. So this album,
So much teenage boys in that title.
this
It
album
smells
was,
like a locker room.
oh my gosh, yeah. So this album, this is what I was expecting from. So even though the Backstreet Boys album I had listened to when I was a lot younger, I listened to it so much in those days that I was expecting to still remember everything, to still remember all the lyrics, which didn't happen. But Simple Plan, I mean, this is still an album I listen to every once in a while. I still go see them in concert. I last time I saw them in concert was maybe just 2 years ago at Warped Tour. Um,
The
so
last one, the last
on
Warped
well
Tour.
the quote unquote last one. So
Uh,
they marketed the last Warped Tour as the last Warped Tour, but that was actually in 2018. That was when the last time that they did an actual tour. But then the next summer, they did the last actual Warped Tour, which was just like kind of two concerts, one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast, which was
that wasn't a tour.
no, it wasn't a tour, but it was the official last like Warped
Okay.
concert. But I went to the last Warped Tour. and yeah, Simple Plan was playing. And what I realized is Simple Plan. So I'm doing a little segue here. But Simple Plan, when they play concerts in Montreal, they are very big. It wasn't always like this apparently. So they were accepted worldwide before they were accepted around here, which is surprising.
No. They were considered sellout
That's true. That's true.
because of the
Yeah.
reset drama. Because I don't know if you heard about the previous band.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
singer
Reset.
quit for going to college, I think, or something like that. And
Mhm.
after a couple of years, he went. I think I don't know because I don't know the name of all the guys in the band. But at the end, I think there's 3 guys from Reset that are in Simple Plan.
Yeah. So there's Pierre, Chuck, and David. And Pierre and Chuck were in Reset at the same time, I think, and they left. David replaced Pierre in Reset, but
And
then
after that, he
also
quit
left.
to
Yeah,
join
exactly.
him.
Yeah.
So that I think because I'm not a fan of Simple Plan. I wasn't back in that time, but I remember because I was in the punk scene to
Mm-hmm.
hear every shit thing possible about them just because of that.
Yeah. So I think that probably had an impact on why they didn't make it as big here first, because they were really big outside of Canada, outside of Quebec. And then eventually they got really big here. And now, when they play a show here, it's always really big. But what I realized going to shows outside of Quebec is that Simple Plan in the States, especially, it's like the fans only know their first 2 to 3 albums. Like, and I'd say even like the first 2,
Okay.
especially their first one, because those were mostly the songs that they were playing and that people were reacting to at Warped Tour. Because when I went to Warped Tour, we did a date. I think we went to the States for one day, and then we went to Toronto for the other day. And so yeah, a lot of what people still listen to nowadays of Simple Plan is probably from No Pads, No Helmets, Just Balls.
Okay. Yeah, but on the other hand, when I look at the videos for I'm Just a Kid, no, but they had a whole cast of the new guy
Yeah. So
movie.
that is how I got into them. I watched The New Guy. I had the DVD, and I always like to watch extras and bonus stuff. And they had the video clip there, and I was like, wow, I really like the song. And that's when I went and got the album.
And that's probably why that's the most popular one.
Probably. Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you look at it now, it's pretty impressive what they achieve in only 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I'm not wrong, Simple Plan started in 1999, and this album is in 2002.
Yeah.
So they went from college kids. Okay, they had experience, but anyway, they start a band, and now they are in the soundtrack of a movie. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe not the biggest movie, but that
No.
was relatively popular.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
they were backed by the singer of Blink 182. He's in
And
one song.
yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know which one it is from Good Charlotte.
Joel from Good Charlotte.
So that's something because
Yeah.
they were a pretty big band back in those
Yeah.
days.
And for them also, like working with Mark from Blink, That was probably something that they never even thought they would do back then. Because, nowadays collaborations are very easy because everybody has access to everybody on social media and everything like that. And it's not rare to see big collabs. But back then, it probably was a process to get Mark to do that with them.
Yeah, and probably since they were from another country,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
there's many barrières
Barriers.
barriers between you and the other guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, it was pretty impressive for a first album.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And
And
I have to say that because of you, I had I'm Not Perfect playing over and
oh
over
my
and over in
gosh,
my head for the whole week.
that song. But see, that's the thing. Their songs, like, and I know there are a lot of Simple Plan haters. I know. I've always been surrounded with Simple Plan haters. But you can't deny that the songs that they did back then were very catchy.
Yeah, totally.
And, you know, I had Perfect, I'm Just a Kid, Addicted, just all in my head this whole week too, because I listened to the album once.
Yeah, but that's true. They were a catchy song, and they were a catchy song really into the moment. If you look,
Exactly. Yeah.
if you look at the look, because they had the same look at the Blink 182
Yeah.
guys, like with the big pants and
The spiky
muscle
hair.
band, yeah, spiky hair. Uh, After that, I don't remember all the song, but there's one when you see they try to go a little bit on the emo side
Mm-hmm.
when they dyed their hair black and like the piercing and
Yeah.
eyelash and whatever they put, but they were into it. They were following the trend. I hope,
Absolutely.
I guess, in the at the good time.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the first, and you don't want to be the last to jump
Mm-hmm.
into a bandwagon. So
Yeah. No, they were good at keeping on trend during their peak years. So like early 2000s, they were pretty much they were everywhere.
yeah, they were on TV for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of the show uh, that was on the not much music, but the American
MTV.
and on the MTV show, they were something calling uh, I don't know ball. That was during the afternoon after school. There was a show about what new in music, and they were
Yeah.
always had. I know that Blink were there like every week or so, especially
Mm-hmm.
on March break. But I remember that Simple Plan went there too,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure when you put your face in front of the cameras during that show, you were the hit of the week for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember what it's called either, but I blame Canadian TV for not. So I don't think we had an MTV, or it was sometimes we did, but we didn't have we didn't have all the shows that were on MTV.
No, I think they were screening stuff
Mm-hmm.
because of the sponsor of the shows.
Yeah.
It's the
So
same thing with the Super Bowl, I think.
yeah, we for all those who aren't in Canada, we do not get the nice Super Bowl American ads. We get regular ads.
Yeah, there's some ads we get, but not all of them.
Yeah. So every year it's a big process of my boyfriend and I trying to find a way to watch the Super Bowl with the American ads.
Yeah, but I think now you can all listen to them on YouTube.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
Like,
different. It's different seeing them the day after.
yeah, I know.
But yeah, so Simple Plan is still very close to my heart. I listen to them every once in a while, and when I listen, it is very cheesy. It's very emo. It's very teenage year. But I mean, I was 12 years old when I got into them, so that was a perfect time for me to accept all of that
Jump in.
music. Exactly,
Yeah.
and I still remember one. So I have very strict Asian parents who, if I got 80 in an exam, they were not happy. And I remember one day I printed out the lyrics to Perfect and left it in their room.
You did
I
that?
did that, yeah.
because to me, you don't look like the angsty teenagers.
I mean, I wasn't. But it's just that at some point that day, I was just very angry that my parents were just so stuck on me getting all these good grades when they were good grades. Like,
Not good enough.
exactly. And and so I listened to that song and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This completely represents my feelings right now. I need them to know.
And it's the most passive aggressive way to do
It
it.
it really was. It really was. I I don't think they ever said anything about it. And I don't even know if it changed anything, but for me it felt good to do that.
I understand why, but now you have to ask them if they remember that,
I will. I should. I should. I
just
mean,
to see.
yeah. My parents do know. Like they still remember that I love Simple Plan. Like for them, I think I've never that's the band that they know I listen to. And everything else they're like, maybe but they know I like Simple Plan. And now they know I like the
That's
main.
oh yeah, I even know that before asking you. But that's funny because my even if I listen to the same band over and over and over again, for my parents, that was just noise.
Oh no, my parents were very into music. And I mean, my parents have driven me to a lot of Simple Plan concerts. They've I think no, that wasn't. So one time they drove to Ottawa to pick me up from a concert, but that wasn't Simple Plan, but it was somebody else. But so
I'm pretty
they
sure that was the guy from Harry Potter.
no, I took a bus for that and went to and back. No, no, no. It was another band, but to get back onto Simple Plan, they just I don't know, I think they my parents were very aware of what I liked.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Even when I got into my Japanese band phase, so that were they knew. Like my mom still remembers some of the names of the guys. She was like, "Oh yeah, I remember your guy Rio."
For anyone, if someone is listening to us right now, we have to see those pictures
The pictures of what?
of you during your Japanese. I don't know. I
Oh,
don't remember the
oh,
name of your face, but
oh yeah, yeah. I had a very big Japanese emo Harajuku style phase in my life where I was only listening to J rock, Visual K, put way too much hairspray in my hair, and had layers upon layers of clothing because that was the style for them. Yeah, maybe we'll post that on our Instagram or something.
to make you more comfortable, I will try to find some picture of me during my teenage years.
Yes, please. Well, I mean, honestly, when I look back, I'm not like, yes, part of me is like, eh, but part of me is also like, that was pretty cool.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, that was yeah. I think teenage years never a good thing as a whole.
Yeah.
So if you can choose the best part, that was good.
That was I still a teenager though? I think I was like 20 at that
Oh
point though.
yeah. Ah, I
Yeah.
was sure you were younger than that.
No, no, I was in CJEP for sure. So CJEP, for those who are not from Quebec, that's between high school and university. We have something called CJEP. Um,
The two best year of your life, or if you're really into it, it can be the best 7 years of your
yeah,
life.
yeah. My boyfriend stayed in CJEP for quite a long time. But so getting back onto the music,
Yep.
let's talk about your first important album.
The first one, after all the reflection and doing the trip back to those years, I think that was Nirvana and Side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another one, start getting to my life on a cassette. But that was worse than that. That was a copy cassette.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm not even sure I had the song in the same
The right order.
the right orders. I don't even know if back in the days I was thinking about A and B sides when I was recording it. I That was probably pretty messed up.
I mean, honestly, I still don't really think about A versus B sides.
No, but when you listen to it, because that was quite a challenge because you have like two modes, so you can have more music but in less quality.
Mm,
So sometime you had an album that is like 25 minutes, but you put it on a cassette of 90s minutes and you fit it up with other stuff.
right.
So sometimes that got all messed up. But that I remember listening to that thing on my not the yellow Walkman because I'm younger than that, but the next generation. We were in aluminum. That was like the thing because they had a strap to put it in your hand because the cool kids were doing skateboard with that. So if
Oh,
you
right.
fall, you won't break it because it wasn't metal. But I remember to listening to that cassette over and over and over and over again. And two things, big impact because that bring me into Nirvana and want to play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, that's the first album that I had to, from a friend that is still a friend with. I'm still friend with him now
Oh, that's so sweet.
because my friend Guy. I don't know. Should I say Guy or Guy in English? But Guy.
You say whatever you want.
He was like the outcast. He was a guy who's never talked to anyone, never listened to during the school time. He was always drawing stuff. He had long hairs. He always had the
He had
same nerve.
long hair.
Yeah, like the middle of his back,
Wow.
and he had a big beard, and he was the guy who like was really introspect. Is that the word?
Introspective or
Introspective.
introverted? Introverted or?
Introverted. Yeah, yeah. He don't talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
He don't go to other people. He wait for to people to come to him.
Right.
And I remember I was like mesmerized by this guy because no, to me he was the cool guy, but to him he was like the
The
loser, and
loser.
he
Yeah.
wanted to disappear in the back. And I remember, I think I was like arts class or something like that. I sit next to him, and I wanted to introduce myself, and I didn't know how. So the first thing came out of my mind was like, "So you like Nirvana?" Because he had a Nirvana shirt, and he opened up and he started talking about Nirvana and music, and he said, "Oh, I have some cassette in my lockers. Want to listen to some?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he just gave me like 20 cassette in a box,
Wow.
and he said like, "Listen to this and copy them if you want, and we will talk about it tomorrow."
That's really
And
cool. Well, see,
yeah, and
music as a common interest can create a lot of a good relationship with people because
like
yeah,
you
like
and
for
me.
like us, yeah. Because when I personally when I find something I like, I start spamming everybody, and I'm like, even if I don't know if you like it, I'm like, maybe give it a try. Maybe you'll like it. Just listen to it.
Listen, listen, listen. Give me the music chord. Listen to it. Yeah, I do that too. And with heavy music and more brutal stuff, that doesn't work.
So the I listen to is a little bit more mainstream, so I get some success out of it.
Yeah, not
Um,
me.
but so when I think I listened to this album for the first time today, so I realized that I had only ever really listened to Nevermind
Yeah, that
from
was the most
Nirvana.
popular one.
Yeah, yeah. So what I realized was that is such a long album.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
remember.
I mean, not long in sense of like time because sometimes bands have shorter, they have some shorter songs and some longer songs, but there are 15 tracks
Hmm.
on this album on the Spotify
Yeah,
version, anyways.
yeah. I don't remember exactly because I just know the song, but I'm pretty sure that was like a melting pot because
Right?
there's a lot of
Yeah,
covers and
yeah,
remake
yeah.
in that album. So
Yeah, I think
maybe
they had a
that.
mix. They had a mix of songs that were previously released,
Yep.
songs that they had redone and new songs. So yeah, it was kind of like a melting pot of their work. Yeah.
And I know many people that really love Nirvana consider that album like, uh, I don't know, a satellite. It's not really part of the discography
Really?
because
Is
it's
it?
too eclectic. It's like everything and anything mixed up in an album.
Hmm.
Like there's cover, there's songs that sound great, but others are live. Like Aneurysm, it's a
Yeah.
live version.
Yeah.
That's a weird album, but that was my favorite because I met one of my best friends through
Yeah.
it. And fun fact, I discovered I like punk music by this album
Mm,
because there's some song like Molly's Lip is only three chords, I think. Not even three, it's two chords, the whole song. The two same chord over and over again. And
really?
yeah,
See, I'm not analytical when I listen to music, is what I realize. So that's not something that I pay attention to. But you, as somebody who plays music, I guess it's something that you actually kind of look out for.
so I discovered that part of me I didn't even know exists
Mm,
because, oh, that's a really short and simplistic song. Not simplistic, maybe minimalistic song.
mm-hmm.
And on the other spectrum, I fall in love with the song Aneurysm because that was a long song for the time. For me, that was something new because I didn't know Pink Floyd back then yet.
Mm-hmm.
And a song of like 4 or 5 minutes with a big intro that's never came back. That beat never came back after that.
That's
That
true.
that blew my mind. I
Yeah.
know it's not the biggest song and the greatest song ever, but back in the day,
But
that blew my mind.
yeah, I mean it was your first taste of that type of
Yeah,
song.
totally.
Yeah. So it I can understand that it can leave an impact.
So that was it.
Well, well,
Wasn't
thanks.
that bad?
Thanks for making me discover some new songs. Because I think after this, I think I will look into Our Lady Peace a little bit more.
There's some cool stuff,
Yeah.
especially during the first album.
Because yeah, I don't think I realized that they were that type of music before.
Yeah, that's great. That
Yeah.
that's another great thing from that experience.
Yeah.
We will
And
share music.
and for Nirvana, I I realized that I really like their unplugged. You know, they had the
Yeah, yeah,
MTV unplugged.
yes,
And
yes.
so I love ballads. I love acoustics. And so that I think, yeah, no, when I said that I only listened to Nevermind, that's not true. I listened to Nevermind and I listened to Unplugged. But it made me
Yeah,
realize that I haven't listened to that in a while and I should go back to it.
yeah. That's a great one. I'm biased, but that's a great one.
Yeah.
But for me, the Backstreet Boys, it's not one song, but there's one song that was in my most listened song of 2019. That was
Really?
number one of all the stuff I listen to, and even my girlfriend is using. Sorry, my wife is using my Spotify. The top one song was Incomplete,
Oh, wow.
and I know that song by heart. And I don't know. I know the camera won't be there, but the part when I think his AG is on his knee, throwing sand in the air, it's like the most epic cheesy thing. But
Oh.
I can't help it. I'm sold.
So fun fact, when I went back and listened to all of this, I actually put my Spotify on private session just so that this doesn't mess up my recommendation.
Don't be ashamed.
No, it's not. It's because so this is something that we could discuss another time as well. But we've talked about this a little bit before that when I listen to music, I get into phases. And so right now I'm in a very big day 6 phase, and that's all I've been listening to for the past 3 months. No, that's not true. That's not true. Because it's October, where October is when we're recording this right now. I listened to the Main's Forever Halloween album at the beginning of this week.
You have your staples.
Yes, yes. But other than that, I've only been listening to day 6. So I wanted to keep it like that so that it's representative of what I listened to this year. I don't know. I'm weird like that sometimes. But
No, that's great. We all have our quirky habits.
yeah. So I think that's gonna be a wrap for today. It was nice to get back
Yay.
into our past. Reminded me of things that I hadn't listened to in a long time and made me discover some new stuff as well. So
Yeah,
thank
that
you
was
for that.
nice. I
Yeah.
I didn't discover anything, but I enjoy my guilty pleasure a lot.
And who knows? We'll see what we're gonna be talking about next week.
Yay! And I don't know if I have to talk to hypothetical audience, but if you are listening to us and you have like whatever suggestion or you want to share your first album or your most impactful album, do it.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yep.
Maybe I will
I
discover stuff.
exactly. Me too. I've this is how you discover music. Even if I discover old music, it's still good music. It's
Exactly.
still potentially good music.
Yeah, yeah.
And so this was Musicality. We are your hosts, Lily,
And François?
and we won't see you. You'll hear us next week. Bye.
Bye.